The original Catan. It is a modern classic. It has sold 32 million copies worldwide. It spawned a plethora of expansions and spin-offs, endless amounts of Catan tournaments, and let's not even get started on the Catan movie. Now, why are we talking about this classic? Well, because we have a game, the next game in the Catan series, and do you know what? I think this is the best in the series to date. So let's go check out what I think of Catan Dawn of Humankind. In Catan Dawn of Humankind, Homo sapiens were venturing around Africa 185,000 years ago, and they decided, look, we've had enough, Africa's lovely, but let's venture out into the other continents around the world. This is the premise of Catan Dawn of Humankind, where you're venturing out, you're exploring, you're putting out your villages around the world, and you'll be the first to reach 10 points. So let's go check out what I think of this game. Now let's start off the mechanics first, and look, the vast majority of the game is going to be core Catan rules. Roll 2 dice. Those 2 dice are going to give you a number. Look at the board, there's going to be matching hexes with those numbers. Now you're going to take a resource of that matching terrain type of that hex, and if you've got a campsite on there, then you're going to collect that resource. Now, why do we want resources? Because that's going to help us to do more actions. We're going to send our explorers out. We're going to be creating new explorers. And we're also going to be putting out more villages on other hexes, which in turn is going to give us more chance to gather more resources. See how the theme sort of keeps rolling on here. Now, in this game, the end goal is to reach 10 points. It's as simple as that. So it's a pretty simple core mechanic, and that's probably why it's so well loved. Now, why is Dawn of Humankind different? Well, look, put simply, one reason, exploration. So we know exploration's the key. Now, how do we do it? There's going to be campsites scattered around all the different continents. Now, these are the only locations that you can put your caves out, that your huts, whatever you want to think of it, put them out, and they're going to be how you're going to gather more resources going forward. Now, each one of those you put out, you're going to get a victory point. Remembering, we only need to get to 10 victory points. Now, what's the other way we can explore? We can go around to the outskirts around the continents, and we're going to see exploration markers. Exploration markers are also going to give us victory points. There is a 1 in 4 chance or a 1 in 3 chance, depending on which continent you visit, to get another victory point. Now, there's also other bonuses hidden under there, so there's a real incentive to see what's under those exploration markers. Now, it doesn't end there. We've also got special victory point tiles. This is going to be endgame scoring. This is going to be endgame scoring for either the person who has the most exploration markers, or also the one who has a campsite in every continent around there. So again, real emphasis on exploring out in the world. Now there's another new feature, and this feature is progress tracks. So we have 4 progress tracks to move up, and that's another nice feature in this game that differentiates it from the other games. Now, clothing and construction. These work in conjunction and allow us to explore more of those exploration markers around the world. Next up is food. Food allows us to move further on our turn. When we're moving our explorers around, we get to move them further along if we go up that track. And lastly, the hunting track. This allows us to place out the Neanderthal or the saber-toothed tiger. Now I hear you saying, what are these? Well, look, if you remember the original Catan, do you remember the robber? When you rolled a 7, you move the robber around? Look, it's the exact same mechanic, but we have 2 of them now. So the Neanderthal works in the Europe and the Asia regions. The saber-toothed tiger works in the Americas and the Australia region. So same thing, if you get one of those, move it to one of those hexes. If there's an opponent on that hex, you get to take one of their cards. Plus also it's the same thing when we roll a 7, people are going to round down if you have more than 7 cards. So you're going to halve your cards rounding down, and you'll also be able to take a card from a player as well. So there's all these sort of different things going on there. So that's pretty much the new mechanics within this game. What else do I think of this game? So what about next we talk about some art? The original Settlers of Catan, the original Catan was quite bland, quite drab. Now this one has completely turned that on its head, and it looks vibrant. The colours pop on the table. We've gone away from that big hex, and all of a sudden now we have a 6-panel game board. So look, straight away, that is going to be the main feature that you're going to look at. The rest of the cards, look, they all work fine. They're all functional. All the rest of the artwork is fine. but it really is that game board. That's what's going to make you go, wow, this is a new Catan. Now let's talk about theme a little bit. Look, this is actually Catan's second effort in this sort of, home of the, Dawn of Humankind sort of theme. The difference with this one is the real shift and focus to the exploration aspect. But I do think they might have missed something right here. In this theme, they're actually saying that the exploration around the worlds was over 100,000 year time frame. Now I would have loved to see them incorporate new technologies as you cross continents and just add in a few more gameplay elements. But look, overall, I think the theme is great. And look, it is just something a bit more fresh and something a little bit different to the original. Now components. Well, look, all I can say is these are nice. This is a retail game, but they've actually got some nice little touches there. The little exploration minis and the caves are really well done. Plus also, there's actually a game trade for your resource cards. Now this is something that I wouldn't have actually expected in a retail game, but I think it's a really nice touch and I'm really glad that they've gone for that extra effort. Lastly, let's have a quick chat about replayability. The original Catan actually had some replayability. While, look, there was simple mechanics, it was easy to pick up. What made it replayable was the fact that it had a real depth to the strategy. What it had was an ease of setup so you could get it to the table nice and quick. And lastly, it had a massive passion and a massive fan base that wanted to support it. And what happened was all that equaled all those sort of Catan tournaments, and it equaled a household game that has been played by so many families around the world. Now, what makes Catan Dawn of Humankind replayable? Look, it has a lot of those, but what happens is we lose a little bit of that ease of setup in return for getting a bit more, I guess, sort of strategy to think about, a few more different ways to score more points. So it's a bit of a trade-off there. Look, I think the same passionate people who love the original are gonna love this game. Now let's summarize all of this. This game is an absolute joy. Seeing those vibrant colors, that big game board sitting on the table, it's gonna have people coming in wanting to play it. The game rules are familiar. As soon as you start playing, you're gonna go, look, this is Catan. Now, look, this game is gonna be for families. This game is gonna be a gateway game. That's the original Catan. What it's gonna do, it's gonna just take it to that next level. So real board gamers out there, they're gonna go, you know what? I'm actually really happy to bring this out, try something fresh and new. I think this game is going to be a real winner, and I think it's a replacement for the original game. So, go out, visit a retail store, go support your local retail store, and you know what? I think you can't go wrong with Catan Dawn of Humankind. So, if you like what I do here, please leave a comment below. Look, any emoji, give me a thumbs up, just let me know you stayed right to the end. And of course, if you could subscribe, that would mean a lot. I really want to grow the channel, and I need subscribers to be able to do that. Anyway, that's it from me. I'm Hoax. This is Board Game Bangers. Till next time, laters.